Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play. Remember11, The Age of Infinity. Last time we were inquisitioning Yuni there about what he knows, and we only have one further inquiry we can make. So now we have to yeah, we have to ask him a question. Apparently. I've got the feeling he wouldn't remember Yomogi and Lin. Because frankly, I don't think he's met him yet. That's just my instinct telling me that. You know, if I'm right about the years actually being backwards, so I'm going to just say, ask why he's at Sophia. And to be honest, that could shed some light on stuff. A shadow formed over Yuni's face. No, not a shadow. It had instantly colored over with despair. Not a single trace of his playful expression was anywhere to be found. A face as pale as a corpse. His cheek twitched in a weird way, oddly spasming. His breathing grew labored. Perhaps he himself had noticed this as he tried his hardest to return its rhythm to normal. But a worried voice didn't seem to reach his ears. His eyes were frozen to a single point on the floor. His entire body began to tremble violently. As though drawn to something, he raised both his hands into the air. His small hands balled themselves into stiff palms. Or fists, I'm not sure what he said. I grabbed his shoulders and shook him. It was such a sudden change that I'd forgotten about my confusion. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I released his shoulders and turned around. As soon as I did, a strong pressure held my arm back. Yuni had grabbed onto my right arm. You know, actually, this shouldn't surprise us because he had quite the strong reaction in the shelter cabin when Kokoro forced the point there. It wasn't quite the same though. In my bewilderment, I was unable to shake him off. Yuni murmured something in a soft voice, a small weak voice. Placed my ear closer to his lips. Oh, great. Well, we asked him why he was there. Guess we shouldn't be surprised at all that he would actually turn it back on us and be like, why am I here? Airplane crashed? You mean Flight 18? But Yuni said he didn't know anything about Mount Takakura. What does that mean? In an instant, everything fell into place. It did, because I'm not... Things are not falling into any place in my head. Based on what Yuni just said, I could only think of one thing. Like Kokoro and I, Yuni had become wrapped up in this transference phenomenon as well. But in Yuni's case, he wasn't exchanging bodies and swapping consciousnesses with another person. He was probably exchanging consciousnesses with his own body. That's what Kokoro thought too, wasn't it? Or something similar. Or did I mention that? I can't remember. It seems like it was mentioned at some point by either fictional or real characters, if I would be considered a real character. Which is debatable. But, I'm sure I fully buy it, though. Though it could make some sense. But not really. Not completely. It could make some sense. I guess Yuni wouldn't have to be on the same schedule as Satoru and Kokoro. Though the Yuni at the cabin, this is why I keep thinking that that's the later point. Based on him, is that he seems like he's much... seems more mature. Of course, I guess when you think about it, it could be the other way around. He could have got pretty bad traumatized from the event, and he's here at Sphia, and he's not nowhere near as put together, I guess you could say, as he was. So it's another possibility. Crying out of sorrow, Yuni leaped into my arms. I gently held his small body close. Unaware, he continued to cry in my arms. The back I embraced as he cried felt so small. The nape of his neck and his shoulders so frail, like they could break at any moment. He really was only a child, an innocent, pure, and easily hurt child. That living warmth felt so dear to me. I had to protect him. That feeling began to well up inside me. His tears continued flowing unabated. Felt that I ought to be there for him until his tears dried up. Okay. Let's say that would be a time when you would think it would be a switch, but I didn't remember that happening. Time passed. It was now 4 p.m. Having returned to my room, I threw myself down on the bed in deep thought. Because that's the only way Satoru thinks. First off, it's a story. It was a problem that couldn't be resolved no matter how much I thought about it. Flipping the switch, I turned my focus on to the transference phenomenon. There's a clue that could be the key to unfolding it, and that was Yuni's existence. Thought about Yuni. Yuni had gotten caught up in the transference phenomenon too, the same as Kokoro and I. However, he differed from us in one aspect. Yuni's consciousness had only transferred once. If you compare the speech and behavior of the two Yunis at the shelter cabin in Sphia, that much was evident. In terms of personality, the Yuni at Sphia was consistently the Yuni here, and the Yuni at the shelter cabins, Yuni was always the Yuni there. Okay. That does make it make more sense. In terms of location, the behavior of the two had always been highly consistent. In other words, it's like this. The Yuni in Sphia at this very moment, the one who had originally dwelled in that body, has the consciousness of the Yuni of the shelter cabin. And as for the Yuni in the shelter cabin, the one who's supposed to be dwelling inside that body, has the consciousness of the unit of Sphia. Their consciousnesses, good grief, had been switched in the transfer. To put it more simply, he had only experienced a time jump as well as a spatial one. Here's a crazy idea. Here's a crazy idea. If somebody was able to clone somebody from some tissue sample that might have been preserved, let's say something like a snowy airplane crash, if they could clone a sample and they could make something like that happen, intentionally a personality exchange, then yeah, it would be pretty wild if they could do something like that. They could actually make the mind of him before the plane crash hop into the clone. So it'd be like Yuni survived the plane crash. Is that exact existence would go on? I don't think that's what's happening, but I'm just thinking that'd be kind of a crazy idea. Then again, who would be the Yuni that was there at the shelter cabin? Yeah. The Yuni at Sphia was only a year older than the Yuni at the shelter cabin. Naturally, their height probably differed, as well as the makeup of a large portion of their cells. But in terms of genes, they were the same individual. That's why, regarding Yuni, it would probably be okay to omit the personality exchange phenomenon concept. It may actually be a personality exchange, but because the two possess the same DNA, it wouldn't be too difficult to consider it a time-only jump. Well, then that's the question. The problem became, why did Yuni's body exist here at Sphia in the first place, after all? Of course, nothing will come of it, even if I were to ask the Yuni here. He's the Yuni of 2011, because he's nothing but a victim who had the misfortune of getting caught up in the transference phenomenon. Consequently, the one who should be the target of this question is the Yuni over there. The Yuni of 2012, the one who was at Mount Akira of 2011. Now I thought about it, it certainly did feel like his behavior was kind of suspicious. If he was the Yuni of 2012, why did he jump so calmly? Why did he so calmly accept the time jump? Moreover, he'd been behaving as if he were the Yuni of 2011. He's most likely deceiving us. That guy definitely knows something. That's what I thought. I should try asking him directly the next time I transfer. I'm sure he'll get a direct answer too, won't he? Okay. Nighttime is Fia, apparently. While I was pondering this to myself, it had gotten completely dark outside. Next, I need to... Sat in front of my desk and picked up the pen. Hey, come on, Kokoro. Transfer at 1:07 p.m. That's it? That's all there is? Is that all you wanted to say? Certainly, as a reply, you wrote it. What you wrote was wonderfully concise. You replied perfectly with what I asked, after all. I somehow understood what the illustration you attached meant too. But you know, isn't writing only one sentence a bit cold? Can't you, I don't know, write something with a little more depth? We can't meet in person, but at least we're lucky enough to be able to exchange information, right? When anyone try to make use of this, you agree, right? We're kind of like partners, you know. Suddenly at that moment, I heard a knock on the door. Calling out to whoever was on the other side of the door, I heard Lickin writing my message. Sorry, seems like a guest has arrived. I'll continue writing later. Ah, right, before I forget to write it. You'd already listened to the voice recorder in the shelter cabin? I'm mentioning again here, just in case. Looks like someone's after me. Be careful. While I'm in the shelter cabin, I consider your body my top priority too. Well then, I'm counting on you, Kokoro. Yeah, I guess has arrived. By the way, somebody's after me. put down my pen and headed to the door. I turned the knob and pulled the door open. On this other side of the open door was Utsumi, standing before me. She had both hands folded before her chest, and she looked at me with a face full of anxiety. Was that the part where she came in with blood on her hands? I can't remember. Seems like it might be. Honestly, can't remember. All of a sudden, my field of vision shifted. I transferred to the shelter cabin. My form had, of course, become that of Kokoro. She was sitting on a wooden chair. I had grown accustomed to this, even this random phenomenon, so I wasn't all that bothered. Oh, but something's off. Some kind of strangely uncomfortable feeling. An uncomfortable feeling, or should I say, an unpleasant one. The old man? Why is the old man's face so close to me? The uncomfortable feeling was coming from my right pinky. Felt somewhat tepid. Something soft was slippery and crawling around my finger. On top of that, it felt as though a sea anemone was sticking to it. The old man's face was on the same level as my hand. My finger was in the old man's mouth. Okay, I don't remember this part. Yeah, I don't remember that part. The strange feeling coming from my finger was in sync with the movements from his mouth. I desperately tried to assess the situation. In short, with this information going, what's happening to me now is very strange. That picture is pretty awesome. Yomogi is sucking my little finger. My cute little pinky is being sucked by a bearded old man. I don't remember this. His face was stretched out in an unpleasant leer. Ah! Clenched my other hand into a fist. Using all my strength to knock Yomogi off his feet. He went flying away from me. He somersaulted and rolled across the floor. It looked really painful, but I felt it was a fitting punishment. I re-examined my right pinky. It was injured. There's a small cut there. Stung and it was bleeding. On the rest of the same hand was the wristwatch. It's 6:05 p.m. I'm glad he went from pinky sucker. Oh, 6:05. Cool. Complaining to myself, I removed the wristwatch and abandoned it on the table. Yomogi wiped at his mouth as he stood. I was truly shocked. I asked as I showed him the cut. Okay, I do remember that part. What did she think would happen? That girl It's like she's a little kid. Unconsciously lick my unconsciously lick my bleeding little finger. Yeah. It it tasted like old man. Do people actually do that? I mean, I get cuts, my hands, but I just kind of course, this probably isn't a good thing, but I'm just like, whatever, let it bleed. Just lets all the germs keep going in one direction. That's probably not. It makes somewhat sense, but it probably doesn't work that way. But I don't like. If I were to cut my thumb, I wouldn't go like. I wouldn't go like that. Like, I guess a lot of people do that, but Felt as if I just lost something precious. Something really precious to a girl, although I'm actually a man right now. A purity, innocence, virtue this nicotine stained old geezer has sold them. I've been sold. There's a SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob just keep screaming, "Soiled it, soiled it, soiled it." Such a horrifying tragedy that tears began to stream from my eyes. Well, that was interesting. Yeah. Interesting, I think, is an appropriate word. Okay. Always makes me a little bit paranoid when the black screen stays there for a while. Anyway, on that finger-sucking note, I think that's a good place to end it. I don't think it can get any better than what it already is. So I do hope you guys enjoyed. One quick programming note. Weird way to say it. I know what game I'm going to be playing after this one. It is a visual novel. I have purchased it. It is in the docks. Whatever docks means, I'm not even sure. Docket. Is that really what I meant to say? It's on the docket. It is Hatoful Boyfriend. Probably got even weirder scenes than what we just saw. Since it is a dating sim involving a human girl and birds. So yeah, it probably has some pretty strange scenes in it. So I'm already looking forward to that. I don't know if the story will be anywhere near as serious as this. I highly kind of doubt it. But I think it will still be a lot of fun to actually do. So yeah, go ahead and be looking forward to that if you wish to look forward to such a thing. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Farewell for now.